All right. I think we're on now. Was having some serious problems here, but I think we are a-okay. What I wanted to talk today about is the Cricut, and I wanted to give you all some features of the Cricut and tell you some benefits for using it. And also, I wanted to kind of give you a walkthrough of Design Space and show you my Cricut Air as well. So, hopefully, I am almost about an hour late for showing up here. I was having some technical difficulty, and actually, the stream had started, and I just couldn't, like, things just weren't connecting well, but I think we're okay right now. So, how are you doing this evening? This is an exciting stream for me, so I wanted to make sure that I still did it. And again, I'm going to be talking about the Cricut. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in, and I'd love to know how everyone is doing and if you have a Cricut machine or if you're thinking about getting one. Now, this is going to last a little bit longer than my normal streams do. It'll be probably anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. And that's because I'm going to kind of be detailed. This is not a tutorial by any means, but I still want to walk you through what Cricut has to offer when it comes to the Cricut Air machine. So, hello, Laura. How are you doing today? I'm going to be kind of looking all over the place because I have a few cameras set up and it's just a lot going on this desk here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So for those of you that are on that don't know me, my name is Liz, and this channel is all about planning, organizing, and lifestyle. So if these are some of the things that you're looking for, I definitely would suggest that you hit the subscribe button because there'll be more videos just like this one coming out. So I'm very excited as well, Laura. I'm very excited to share this information. So you can also help this channel out by just hitting the share button and sharing it out with your audience as well. I would greatly appreciate that. And again, I'm going to be on the chat afterwards. You can ask me questions during this, and also I'm going to stay on the chat a little while afterwards. So if you want to chat with me, you can. You can ask me any questions that you like about the Cricut, and I'll attempt to answer them for you. Let's see here. I got some notes down here somewhere. I got stuff all over because I got a little bit discombobulated because things just weren't working right. I tried to get on the live stream about 10 times, and finally I figured out what it was that was kind of had that disconnect. So I've had my Cricut for almost 2 years now. I bought my Cricut in 2015, and I've used it almost every single day. And so I wanted to share some of what I know about the Cricut because I think it is an amazing machine. So I wanted to share that out with y'all, and I'll just give you a little peek at the Cricut itself. Hopefully I have everything all set up still because it was a little cray-cray in here for a minute. So hopefully you can see that this is my Cricut machine. And of course, when you purchase yours, or if you already have one, you already know that it doesn't come like this. It actually is decorated. I decorated it with some decals, and you can actually make decals on your Cricut for your Cricut if you wanted to. But this is how mine looks. And so I just wanted to give you like a quick peek. I'm actually going to run the machine a little bit for a demo as well. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is what the Cricut can do, some of the features that it has, because I think sometimes when you're in certain groups or in certain spaces, you only hear about maybe one feature that the Cricut can actually perform. And of course, the big thing is it is a die cutting machine. So the big thing is that it can cut, and it does precision cuts as well. The Cricut is touted as being the top performer as far as it goes for precision cuts over any of the other electronic die cutting machines. So what that basically means is Let me see if I can find my little sticky note here. If you have like a little, like, you know, like some little embellishments or something like that, it'll do the fussy cutting for you. So if you are a scrapbooker, then you definitely know what fussy cutting is. So this is like a sticker that I made, and actually it has like some little holes in here. I know you can't see that. Some little holes in here where it fussy cut those holes. I could never do with my scissors, but the Cricut can do that for you. So it has those precision cuts that it can do. The next thing is that it can write as well. It has a housing already, and I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to demonstrate the writing as well. It can write on the paper. So if you have messy handwriting, like I have messy handwriting, then you definitely can put a pen in and then it will write for you onto the material. Now the Cricut will also cut on a number of different types of material. And this is something that I didn't know. I did a little bit of research before I came on because I wanted to make sure that I gave you good information when I came on here. And it will cut over 100 different types of materials. Now, of course, the thicker the material you have, then you'll probably need to purchase a different blade and a housing for that. So just keep that in mind. But for the lightweight cutting like cardstock and chipboard and paper and stickers and things like that, it actually comes with a standard blade that you can use, and it will work fine. Of course, if you are, again, doing those intricate cuts, you will have to change your blade over time. And one good thing, I keep saying one good thing, but there's lots of good things about the Cricut. And another good thing about the Cricut is that the equipment and the replacement parts like the blades or the mats, the accessories, don't cost you an arm and a leg. And also, I'm going to tell you how you can get the Cricut machine itself if you don't already have one. You might be on the fence about it. Or the accessories. I'm going to tell you how you can get those products at a reduced price, and I'll talk about that in a bit. So it'll cut, it will write, and then you can do any kind of materials. Now, with the writing, what I failed to mention as well is you'll be able to use like your system fonts that are on your computer already. And also you can use the fonts that Cricut provides as well. So they have some that are free of charge, and then they have others that you would have to purchase. Or you can take advantage of their subscription service, and they have bundles that you would have access to, and you only have to pay like a small price monthly to have access to everything within those bundles. So of course you can go over to Cricut and you can look at the pricing on the bundles and things. So I don't want to talk about those. I want to talk about the actual machine itself. So you can design things on the go, which is really nice. You can design things on your computer, on your iPad, or on your telephone. You just need to load the applications on your actual devices so that you can do that. So that's nice again also. So I'm going to go ahead and go over into Design Space, and I'm kind of give you just a little bit of an overview, but again, this is not going to be a tutorial per se. So let me just get you over here. I'm trying to be able to still see the chat as well because it's a lot of stuff going on my screen here. All right, so this is Design Space, and I hope you can still hear me as well. And in the Design Space, actually, Cricut has changed over from an older version. They're using a newer version. It's still in beta, but I would definitely suggest to start using the beta version because they're going to start moving things over to the new version anyway. So you can use that. So this is the page for the new version. And what you see at the top is like actually they're up here is actually like their advertisements, and if you go down then you'll see your projects, your library, because you can store things here in your library, and then they have projects that you can actually do that they have set up for you already. And that's really nice too, because if they have a project that's similar to one that you might want to do, then you may want to check out one of their projects. And of course, you would have to pay to do the project, and that's because you're paying for the images that they have there. But they tell you all the materials that you need and everything to get that project completely done. But we're going to go into Design Space itself. So let's see. The best way, I'm going to actually go into one of the projects that I have here, and I'll show you Design Space. Okay, because I actually had to print out some labels that I had for some containers. So I have those up here on the screen. So this is actually two different labels. I have a container where I have cardstock and one for office supplies. So I wanted to print those out, so I decided to use those as an example. But while we're in here, I just wanted to give you kind of an overview of what Design Space looks like. Now I have it kind of small here on my screen. Let me try to make it a little bit bigger so you can see there. Just still trying to have access to make sure I can see the chat. Okay, so this is Design Space here, and if you've been working in Design Space too, it does look quite a bit different, but it still has some of the same bells and whistles. And the big deal about the upgrade is that now you don't have to have Flash going on your computer, because before that Flash would crash in a heartbeat. You never knew when it was going to crash. So now you don't have to deal with that, which is nice. So it has several menu items. So on the left hand side, you can create a new project. You can look into the projects that Cricut already has set up, and yours will be here. Your library will be found here as well. You can actually upload your own images, which is that is a serious plus. You don't have to pay anything extra to be able to use your own images, so that's really nice. And you can do text, which I have here, some simple shapes. These are some simple shapes that I have. And then again, you can upload your own stuff as well. You can also save your project to a library, and you can share it with a friend. So if you share it, they can actually print it, but they can't change anything. Now, there are some limitations to if you are actually going to share your projects with someone, but it's no big deal, and I'm not going to go into that right now either, because I just want to make this like a nice overview for you. And then if you look at the top, you'll also see, if you select the image, you have lots of ways that you can edit the image here in Design View as well. And let me just make this just a little bit smaller, because it's like really big. There we go. So you can see it gives you like the dimensions. I actually have these two stickers. These are going to be stickers, and they're grouped together. And so at the top, it gives you lots of options. And also, if you've ever worked in Photoshop, it kind of works on that premise. There's layers. So these are all on this layer right here where I have Cricut Sans. I'm sorry, this one is actually not the one. It's this one right here that we're working on, that's flattened. So if I select that, well, let's ungroup this real quick so I can show you, because I don't want this to be like a whole big tutorial. So let's ungroup, I have a couple of the stickers grouped together. So this is one sticker that I made, and this is one sticker. I just had them together so when they print, they'll print on the same page. Okay, so I have these are actually kind of large stickers, and this grid that you see here is actually it's in inches, but you can have it in centimeters if you're working on the metric system, or you live in a country where they have the metric system. And so I have those here, so you can see how big these are just on the page. So again, I'm not going to go all through that. There are some pieces of Design Space I did want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to group these back together really fast. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. So I'm going to group those, and I'm going to flatten these. Okay, and I'm going to say make it, because I'm going to actually go to the design process. Now, I'm just going to skip back because I want to show you the machine itself. So let me just get here. All right, so this is the machine itself, and I showed it just a little bit when I came on, and this is mine's. And again, I have it decorated. Usually it comes plain, and now they have it where the bottom of this part is gold, so you can buy one that has the gold on it as well. And it has at the top, it has this little housing where you can actually store your pens if you wanted to. I don't normally store pens in mine. I just put one in here for the demo for you. And then it has a slot right here on the left hand side, and this slot is for Cricut cartridges. So if you are old school and you have some Cricut cartridges, you can actually use this slot to load the cartridges up to your design space. Now, I also wanted to mention that I did look up, I was going to try to, get some cartridges on the cheap, so I looked on eBay for the cartridges. But after researching the used cartridges, I decided against it, and that's because if you buy a cartridge where someone has already registered it, you will not be able to use it on your Cricut. So just keep that in mind. So that's a tip for you. Be careful about people that are selling used cartridges. And then we have the open button here, and then on this side it has some options for you. Now I'm just going to bring up a screenshot. All right, so what you're looking at are the options for the adjustment of the blade. And this is another great feature of this machine, is that when you select one of these options, it will automatically change the level of where the blade is, so it'll be in the correct place. So you can, they put the most popular options on here. So they have paper, vinyl, iron-on, light stock, cardstock, fabric, poster board, and then they have custom, and I'm going to show you the custom in a minute also. So those are all the options that they have. And then if you look towards the bottom, you'll see where it has the two arrows. That's your load button, and next to it is the C with the little Cricut, the Cricut antenna there, and that's the go button. And then of course the power button is right next to it. So let's go back over to the Cricut itself. So you can plug this in directly to your computer, or if you have the Cricut Air or the Cricut Air 2, it can hook up by via wireless. It'll go Bluetooth basically. And so right now I have mine plugged into the USB because I wanted to make sure I didn't have any failures while we're actually on here online. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and you can see how beautiful it just opens up, like, a little cave in here. And this little piece up here, I just had a note to myself to make sure when I calibrated the machine, I did it in Firefox because it worked better for me that way. So if you look inside here, it has like the housing. And this is another great feature of the Cricut as well, is that you have the ability to put a pin in here and without removing the actual blade. So this is the blade, where the blade is housed here. And then this is where the actual pin goes in here. And I'm going to show you how the pin goes in just a bit as well. And then your mat will go into this part. Now keep in mind that there is an area in the back, and let me see, I'll just see if I can turn it around for you so you can see, if I can without pulling the wires out. So there's like a little slot right here, and this slot is where your mat will come out, and I'm going to show you how it works. So you want to make sure that if you purchase this machine, that you have somewhere that you can put it where you have about 10 inches behind it, because when your mat comes through, it needs to go through. It's going to come straight through the back basically, and then it's going to go back to the front, and you'll see how that works. But the reason why I'm mentioning that is if you are kind of on the fence for this, all the cutting machines kind of work on that same premise. So if you put it on a shelf, you're not going to be able to use it on a shelf unless the back of the shelf is out, unless it's open shelving and you have some space in the back. So I hope that made sense. But you want to have space in the back. So let's open this back up again. So basically, that's the whole machine. Is like really, really simple. So I'm going to take you back into design space here. And let's go here. All right, so we're back in design space. So for anybody that's coming on, I am just talking about Cricut, and I talked about some of the features that it has, and I wanted to give kind of an overview of the machine itself, which I just did, and then kind of show you some things in design space, because I believe that it's really user friendly and that you can really set up your projects quick, and the cutting goes pretty fast as well. So here I've already hit the go button on here, and it'll show you the mat, and it'll show you the paper that is the way it's going to look, and it has the registration mark. So these are your registration marks, and that's what Cricut uses so that it can kind of line things up precisely. So that's what the registration marks are for. And so I'm going to go ahead and say continue, because again, I don't want this to be too in-depth. So once you get to this screen, the first thing that happens is that Design Space is going to look for your machine. So I found mine because I have mine plugged into USB, but if it was Bluetooth, it would say the name of your machine, and then it would have Bluetooth as well on here. So this is mine. And then next, you would actually print out whatever it is. Now keep in mind that there is no ink in the Cricut itself. So let's go back here. So the only thing it has is just the blade only. There is no ink. So if you are printing something for a print and cut, you actually have to print it on your printer first, and then you're going to cut it on here. So I'll just show you. In this particular instance, I already cut this and I've loaded it on my mat already. So I wanted to show you. And let's see here. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so this is what it looks like when you print it out. So this is how big my stickers are. See, it's on an 8.5 by 11 sheet here. Okay, so let's go back over to Cricut, over to Design Space. All right, so back over into Design Space. We want to set our paper, and this is number 2 right here, where it says adjust the smart set dial on your machine to the desired material. So I'm going to go back over to where the dial is and show you. So this is the smart set dial, and in this case I would be doing sticker paper. So you notice that sticker paper is not on here. So I would set this to custom, and then I'm going to come back over to Design Space. And here, when we set this, let me just move this so it'll set to custom. When we set it to custom, it's going to change, and then you have to select your material. And then you would go here, it gives you your menu over here on the side, and you would select 3M Post-it notes if you're doing stickers. Now I've already printed the sticker for this project because I wanted to show you what it looked like, but I did want you to see the cut, so I actually put it on paper. So I'm going to change this to paper, and you'll see it change. And see it changed to paper. So it's going to adjust the actual blade by itself. So now we're going to next load the paper. So I'm going to take you back over to the Cricut. All right, so we're going to actually load the paper on. And you can see it has some guides here, so it makes it easy for you to load the paper on. And I already put the paper onto the mat. And the Cricut actually comes with a standard mat. And if you're going to be doing different materials, there's actually a mat that has like a light stickiness, And then they have one that has a strong stickiness as well. And then this one is the standard one. And you can almost do a lot of your projects with just this one alone. Now, after a while, it will get a little bit cruddy, but you can clean it with a wet wipe. So that's a tip for you. You can clean your mats with a wet wipe. But after a while, you're either going to have to restick your mat or buy a new mat. And the mats are not that expensive to get. And right now, they have some on sale too. So, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and load this so you can see the load button is flashing, and that's the arrows here. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up. And then once that loads up, then the Cricut will then, this little C in the middle, this is your go button. That's going to start going or flashing. So I'm just going to hit that and it's going to pull it in. So the first thing that it's going to do is it is going to read the registration marks on the paper. But I do want to go back over to Design Space and show you something else here while that's going. If you look right in the middle here, you'll see it says scanning. And then you see this little black mark around the circle. That's kind of giving you an idea of how much time it's going to take for it to scan. So that's a nice feature. So, you know, because we're so impatient, it's always nice to know how long things are going to take to get done. So let's go back over so you can look. There's something therapeutic about watching it cut, isn't it? I kind of really like that. I don't know why. I like watching the Cricut do its thing. I felt like the Cricut has its own personality because you don't know what order it's going to cut things in. So I call this Tim Gunn because I like naming inanimate objects at my desk. So Tim Gunn, if you watch Project Runway, then you would know who that is. So now it is actually cutting the stickers itself. And again, it's just 2. And this is actually just paper that I put on here because I already cut the stickers. So I'm going to show you. So these are the stickers that I cut. And you'll see that's what it looks like. So, and this again is just some labels that I have for a container. But not stickers for the actual planner. But I did do some movie marquees earlier, and I was able to put like 30 of these on one sheet, so that's nice. So if you're doing stickers, you could actually do this as well. So now it is completely finished, and I'm going to go ahead and offload it. You'll see the load button is now blinking again, so I just push that and then it'll come out. So now the sheet is up and out, and I'm going to go ahead. I always turn my mat over when I'm taking the papers off, because if you don't, then your paper will actually crinkle, or it'll kind of look warped. It'll be like this when it comes out. But if you turn it over, then it'll be flat like this. So again, this is the actual project that we did here, because I just cut the paper out, and see, that's what it looked like. It's not on sticker paper, it's just the paper itself. So I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what it can do. Now the next piece of this puzzle is I want to show you the handwriting piece. So let's go back over to Design Space. All right, and we are just going to close out of this mat here. And I'm just going to kind of hide that, and I'm going to bring up some wording that I've already put together. So if you look right here, it says Hello Peeps. Make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. So it says Hello Peeps. So I'm actually going to print this out, and it's going to print exactly as you see it here. So let's go and say make it. So first I have to load some paper back on to... Let me load the paper on here. So again, you can ask me any questions if you're just coming on. We're talking about the Cricut, and I want to give a little bit of a demo. And I'm also going to tell you how you can get the accessories and the machine if you haven't got one already and you wanted one. I'm going to tell you how you can get them at a reduced price in a few minutes. So I just loaded like a blank piece of paper on here because I'm going to write on it. And so now I'm going to take you back over to design space again. Let's go here. All right, so we're back in design space, and it shows you the mat, so it's going to print the Hello Peeps right here at the top. Now I'm going to change the settings for the material size because this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, so you can see how it changed this white part. Now you can actually move things around on the paper, so I'm going to put this kind of like in the middle. And you could duplicate this if you wanted to also in this area. So you can go over here to the left where it says project copies, and I'll just make 2. Now it has 2, and then I can actually just move those. So I'm just going to move them like that so I can have 2 there. So the next thing that I'm going to do, and I also want to make sure this is on right, and I just selected a kind of a gold marker to do this. I'm going to say continue, and it's going to give you instructions on how to do this. So the first thing it says is to set the smart dial, but when you're writing, you don't have to worry about the smart dial because you're not cutting anything. So it's going to tell you to insert the mat, so we will do that. So I'm going to, it takes me a second to kind of switch the camera back and forth. So we're going to take this and we're going to load it on, just like we did when we were doing the stickers themselves. And then we're going to go back over to design. All right. And then here at the top, you'll see it asks you to actually load your pen on. And so I'm going to take the pen. Oh, let me go back here so you can see. So I'm going to take the pen, of course. You want to open the pen up. And then you're going to actually open up the housing here. You'll stick your pen in, and there's a little arrow on here. You see that arrow? You have to make sure that that arrow is all the way down. So when you stick it in, you want to make sure that you press it down. Well, maybe not as hard as I just did. And then close the housing back up. And then basically it's ready to go. So let's go back over to design space, and then we are going to hit the go button. Oops. And you can see that it's writing on the paper just as you saw it on the mat. And also, if you look here on design space, you'll see it tells you approximately how much more time it's going to be before it gets done drawing. But I always like watching it draw. So you can see the pens are very effective, and there are also some hacks out there for the kind of pens that you can use in here. So this is actually a Cricut pen. And I think the last mystery box that they had for June had tons of pins in it. So you see how it kind of haphazardly goes back and forth, and in the end it's gonna have Hello Peeps twice, but I always say it's kind of cray-cray. So yeah, that is very cool, isn't it, Laura? And it's like I said, it's mesmerizing just to watch it. So of course, if you use some different kind of pens other than the Cricut pens, you have to be careful. If it's, bleeds too much, it might get on your mat or something like that. But you would just have to do some testing in that case. Uh-oh, I didn't tell it. Let me stop it because it's getting ready to go off the mat. Ah, it did. Okay, because I forgot to change the paper. So you see, it went off the mat. But I'm not really that worried about it, to be honest with you. So that's what it looks like, even though I kind of did it a little bit. I didn't do it right because I forgot to change the mat size to 8.5 by 11, but you just have to make sure you do it right when you do yours. And then of course, now this paper is coming off really easy for me, but I'm going to tell you that when you first get a brand new mat, it's going to be really, really sticky. So I would definitely, if I was doing paper like this, I would use the I think it's a purple mat that it has the light stick on it. Otherwise, it will tear your paper up when you try to take it off. So you have to be careful about that. So that's how it writes. So I've showed you like the stickers that it makes, and then also that it can write, and then it can score as well, and you can use that for embossing, or if you're a card maker, you can use that for the scoring also as well. So let me just bring this back to myself here. So that is everything that the Cricut does. It just has like some fantastic features, and I love the Cricut. And I did tell you that I was going to let you know how you can get like these things at a discounted price. Now, I kind of hesitated to do it this way because I didn't want people to think that I was just trying to sell stuff, which I'm not. But I am an affiliate with Cricut, and sometimes they send me emails to let me know when they have exclusive deals that you won't be able to find on their website. Like if you went and you hunt and pecked on their website, you won't be able to find it unless you went through someone who has an affiliate link who gets the notifications. You won't know about it. So on my channel, what I've started doing is started making really short videos when the discounts and the promo codes come out, and let you know when those end. So I actually, in the playlist for Cricut, I have one video for June that tells you about the discount codes, and the discount codes will be down in the description of those videos as well. And down below in this video, if you go to listforaday.com/Cricut, it'll take you to the page where the machines are actually, they're like heavily discounted right now also. And if I'm not mistaken, today might be the last day of that. So I wish I would have done this video a little bit earlier to tell you all about it. So if you're looking for the machines themselves, if you go there, you'll see like this machine that I just showed you normally runs for $229, and I think right now it's at $179. And that's a fantastic price because that's a lot more than what I paid. But they also have some other accessories that they're selling over there, and they're having a phenomenal summer sale right now. But the deals just aren't going to last that long. So I still just wanted to make sure I told you that. And I do want to let you know that I am an affiliate. I don't get anything for you just going over there and looking at it. So you can definitely do that. And you can look in the links below, and you'll see the link to Cricut there. So let me know if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to be in the chat, so you can chat with me below. And I really enjoy doing this demo, and I probably will do how to make stickers, but it'll probably be over on the Patreon page when it comes to using the Cricut itself. So I hope you enjoyed this particular demo, and if you can give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it also, I would greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to shove off as normal, because of course this is like way longer than I like for the live feeds to be. So I'm just kind of tongue-tied today, and it was just a little bit crazy, but I enjoyed it anyway. And I want to thank you for joining me today here, and I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, as long as I don't have any technical difficulties again. So with that, I'm just going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.